Yeah,
Go.
I
You're good.
want Evan is so confident every single time where he's like, if this comes true, we need to post this on and you need a clip to clip it up. I want you to go back to every single one and pick where he says that and do like just
There's
a
a bad
wrong
one there.
or like, you know how there's that gambling like sound where it's just like, let's go gambling. And it's like, dang it, just a wrong every time Evan makes a prediction that doesn't come true.
Dude, it's so true.
That would
That's a
actually be
lot
an
of work,
incredible
though.
reel. That would be an incredible.
I
I already know the one that was wrong. Was who was it? Was it Blake who said he's like, I'll take Luke Jones over Ari, and I was like, I'll 100% take that. There's no way Luke's beating Ari. Luke fourth, Ari fifth.
I saw that.
I was like, I'm just gonna let that one. We're just gonna let that one go.
Yeah. I feel like
And then
yeah,
Ben,
there's a couple of your
what'd you run, like 113 or 114 in Santa Cruz?
114. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So again, one of my like, I don't know where Ben's run is right now. It goes and runs a 114.
which is fair enough. After a 121 in Louisville and like throwing up in mile 5, I was not sure where my run was either. But
I didn't know that you stopped and puked. That's what Trevor was telling me. He was like, oh, he was stopping and puking. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it to mile 5 in Santa Cruz, and I was like, "Oh, great! Okay, this is going way better than last time."
I just hope I was in your head. You're just like, yeah, Evan has no idea what he's talking about. This guy's an idiot.
I looked at those run times, though. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, some of those run times were insane on that course, but
it was like an opposite day. It was like the fast people went mediocre, and the slow people went fast.
That's not a fast run course by any means. So guys were running really, really well. Yeah.
No, I finally felt like my run I felt like it was a better run than Oceanside, and Oceanside was only a little bit faster because that course is just insane.
Oceanside might be close to a 2-minute difference in speed just by the course compared to Santa Cruz.
What did you call the bike course, Evan? You were like, it's not hard, it's slow.
Meanwhile, we all rode like 201. What was it? Jackson was 10 seconds off Ruben Zapunki's like course record on there. So
who was an actual world tour rider? So
Ben, what mic do you have? Your mic is amazing.
I don't know. This was on on our registry for our wedding, like back in the day, because we wanted to do it. It's nice. MAONO, like a Mauno or something. It was just it came in like a little carrying case. I gotta find, they do have one of those like little circular things so you don't get like the strong P's if you're like going like that. But I don't know. I lucked out on it, I guess.
I'm going to I'm not connected to the LAN, but I got nothing. Okay, we're still good. All right. Usually I connect I hardwire into the internet so we don't lose anything, because one time it was a little finicky, but I would have to stop the recording and go back, but I'm not going to do that. So I got no
Blake
warning,
is not,
so we should be good.
Blake's on different duty. He's not going to tune in from Nice to give the on the ground intel.
I didn't want to stress him
right now. He's out there doing interviews on the promenade.
He's going to the I think right now he's having a sit down with Jack Kelly. It's like a Mussolini Stalin type situation.
Yeah.
Is Pro Tri News there too? Start throwing them all in, just in a back corner in a cafe in Nice.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Blake needs to be our representation there for sure.
He's
also, I thought he was going to like set up with Ernie somewhere. Wasn't he were they just going to sit there with like a sign, like come ask us questions or something?
Yeah, but that would have been way too much editing. I think the stuff he's got is pretty solid from what he sent me on the side. That's not on the story. Mm-hmm. But I think he's going to the Norwegian thing today. What's his name? Dave Lippman, the guy who runs the Norwegian Method podcast, is a good friend. So he asked if Blake was coming to the podcast, and I was like, I think he is. So they're doing a live podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we'll pick up the scraps while Blake is hobnobbing with the best in the sport right here.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's coming off a high. I mean, what? Dude,
that's an incredible back-to-back, man. He just died in Wisconsin and then hopped on a plane, basically.
I saw him. He was in a wheelchair. Yeah. Just wheeled me straight onto the plane.
They actually, that's what I was gonna say. They just wheeled him straight into the airport. He's like, "Leave the bike. I'm going to Nice."
And then he gets denied a press pass by IRONMAN. It was just like so on brand.
He's had a heck of a week, man. I'll tell you what.
It's just so on brand for On Your Left.
Blake goes and dies at Wisconsin, gets denied a press pass, flies to Nice anyway.
Yeah.
To be fair, like I didn't want to press pass anyways, because I know if you get one, like you're not allowed to use footage. Or you have to use like 90 seconds of footage, and you're kind of just like, I like being the heel. You know, I like the Barstool versus NFL type.
Yes.
Just taking the videos from the stands.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I told Blake, I was like, you got to get to the dismount line, dude. That's where, or the mount line. That's where it all went down last year, where I think it was Leon Chavalet, like he ripped his cage off the back of his bike.
Yeah.
And it just,
that's
like,
where
dropped.
the one in Nice is famous too, because that's where Ann Hogg like flatted and made it like 400 meters out. Somebody else crashed. Like it was, that's like the hot corner in Kona. It's just the mount line.
All I
just
want is a close up of Jonas Schoenberg's front end. Can it handle that mount? Like, is that thing? Yeah. I mean, he's got like a full foot on that from his fork. I'm not sure how stable that is once he mounts.
Hey,
I want to say I was talking to him. I think that like some of those mounts only have one bolt as well. Yeah. Like it's not a 2-bolt system. It's just a 1 bolt. And with how you got to switch to like titanium at some point. Or stainless steel, you got to commit to like a stronger bolt and really torque it down.
Yeah, you cannot go light on those bolts, because if you go light on those bolts, you're going to strip it, or the bolt's just not going to hold, basically.
Yeah.
I have an idea for an exercise, and I don't know how good a radio this is going to be, but let's each think of 2 athletes that aren't here racing as we dive into, I hate the label at tier 2, but it is tier 2 because, you qualify for Ironman World Champs. You're not a tier 2 athlete.
It's the dogs and the underdogs, or the dogs and the hungry dogs. I was going to go out too. I mean, tier 2, you guys have been putting me in tier 2, but this is like my bread and butter when it comes to world championships. The two times I've gotten on the podium at world champs is I'm one of the guys who just nobody was talking about, just probably the underdog for tier 2, whatever you want to put me in, for like St. George and specifically for like Chattanooga.
Yep.
That's what we're going to see here. One of these guys is breaking in the top 10.
Because that was you.
100%.
Ben, did you get on it? You came into that run ahead of Gomez, right? In Chattanooga?
Yeah. I had like 4 minutes or 5 minutes on Gomez, and that guy,
he was literally one of the best runners in the world at that
time. People forget that. People forget that race.
That was a great race, man. I was there. That was a wonderful race.
It was such a, it was that was such a good course going up that climb to break it up. Yeah.
Yeah, the lookout mountain climb was great. It was
so good.
Did you guys hear my point? Did you see the reel with Matt Mack that like 70.3 Worlds like doesn't have an identity? And I strongly feel that. Like,
but also at the same time, that's a huge. I love 70.3 for the same reason, cars.
Yeah.
You get there, you just look at the whole list. You're like, 5 of these guys have never even raced a 73. They might make the podium. Who knows? It is the wild,
they just
get
a random wild card. How did you show up? You have to qualify somewhere, but like they've never raced.
Like he did one super try. He's gonna throw in here. He just rented a tri bike last week. Podium.
Dude, and Matt's response.
Well, that's the Gustav.
Exactly. Yeah. Gustav literally was just like, I don't know, do I need aero bars on this thing? You're like, no, you're
on fine. The road bike, in Nice.
Matt's response where he's like, it just happens every year, and like that's kind of how it feels like. It just happens. Like it changes month to month. Like
honestly though, if you go way back, like it's so much better than when it was in Clearwater and it was just like a throwaway world champs almost, where it was like every year it's just in Clearwater. They run like 65 and they all rode in a big pack. Not to like discount anybody who won that race, but it was them changing the venue just was the best thing ever for that race.
Oh yeah, because it goes to Europe and all of a sudden it's a fast
Well, it was in Vegas first. It was Vegas was one of the best like world's course. That's the iconic Sebi pass. Just when he comes out of nowhere and just blows by people like they're standing still.
He's going like 50K and everybody else is like still going 40. I mean, he was literally
racing it like an Ironman, like they used to race it. He just rips their legs off.
That's funny. All right, so tier 2. We're doing another episode of the On Your Left Startlist Power Rankings. This might go over 30 minutes because we just chopped it up for about 10. We asked. It's 9/11, so we wanted Captain America to come on to run through it. Blake is occupied. He's shaking hands, kissing babies, and probably eating his face after, winning his age group at Ironman Wisconsin.
He's going to Kona.
And you know what? We were just you just brought it up. It's dogs and hungry dogs, and you said it yourself. One of these guys is going to break in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Philadelphia Eagles of the triathlon world right here. Yes. The underdogs.
And this is also, I mean, a ton of these guys are going to be in the mix for the top 20. So like, there's so many good names on this list. It's wild to think that we're putting them in this like second tier here. But there are some guys here who will for sure be in the bottom, and some guys, one of these guys probably makes the top 10.
We just had to draw a line. Like at the end of the day, we needed to draw a line. We couldn't do all 50 guys with Mark, 53 guys. You know, we chopped it at what? It was like 30 and 23 this is or something like that. But we're doing 5 tiers today, not 6.
Yep.
And I think it's 25 guys if my math is math in here.
We're close to that.
10, 15, 20, 24.
Yep.
All right. So let's kick it off. Tier 1 of the tier 2.
Everybody gets 2 names to say first.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to my exercise real quick.
Yeah.
Who is not racing this that should be here or isn't here? Let's kick it to Ben. Ben, who's missing from this start list?
We're gonna take the 2 easy ones. Myself and Trevor Foley.
I literally said to myself, Ben's going to pick himself.
Bitch. Yeah. Son of a bitch. I should have been there. I'm the tier 3 on this ranking right here because I couldn't get my shit together to get on the start line. But yeah, us 2 for sure.
So I'll go next to make this really hard on Bali. Okay, I'm taking Robert Callan. Robert barely missed a cup. I mean, he was racing okay, but not well enough to get his qualifier at the, I think, 3 or 4 shots he had. But I think that's a big missing name because the dude was going to for sure influence the bike, at least influence the bike. And then I'll go next. I know it's kind of outside because he hasn't done a full and he's just focusing on T100, but God, I'd love to see him mix up would be Rico Bogan. I would love to see like Rico in the full, like in this race. The dude would ride this course so hard. It would completely throw off anybody's plans.
Speaking of Germans, like what about Freddie Funk? Freddie Funk would have been. I'm going to just take all the names before Connor gets to go. Just start going off. Jan Frodeno, like Javier Gomez.
Yeah, we're really missing Frodo here.
Yeah. Quick, you got to go, Connor, before we just keep naming people.
Fred Funk's a good one. I like that name.
All right, so the first one is obviously Lionel. Like, missing Lionel, missing the content from Lionel all week. And the next one, I was just thinking back, like, who were the big names in 2023 that were getting all the press? And you said Fred Funk, which was one of them that I was thinking. But Filet Mignon. Where is Mignon?
Yeah.
What's
he's been injured.
There?
He's been injured. I think he had surgery recently.
In 2023, he was with Laidlow on this bike for the whole bike, basically, right? I mean, he was like the pace man for him.
Dude can ride.
He could descend very well, apparently. He was, heck of a rider.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean,
but here's my hot, I said this on my own mini podcast yesterday. I think my call is, I think somebody, and not that we want to see this, but I think somebody's going to go over the barriers at some point in the race.
Dude, I know that.
I just think it's going to happen. Dude, you can't win without risking it.
Here. Yeah. This year, because they've done the course in 2023, so guys want to ride that descent aggressively. And they're going to we almost saw Leo Berger in the French Riviera literally rode up on a curb like that.
Okay, I heard Martin talking. He descended 2 minutes slower than Von Berg, Gustav, and Alistair Brownlee when they did it. Same descent. You can lose 2 minutes or you can win, get 2 minutes back. This is going to be like the NASCAR Cup guy sending it into the corner and riding the wall where he's like, I'm putting the pedal to the metal and not lifting until I see God or the finish line. Like, these guys, like you said, Leo is like on the edge in Fréjus, like down the coast, and he knows those roads, just caught a gust of wind and is almost like in the gutter. So I think that the descent is not overlooked, but I think, if guys are just off the front or just behind, they're going to risk it.
Bali, when they start that descent, you need to put up the the Paul Blart Mall Cop guy where he does the intro where it's like, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines or whatever it is.
Well, let's tell Blake. I'm going to be in bed for sure. I'll tell Blake.
I'm going to try.
Well, and it's also, you have Ironman brain at that point because you climb for an hour, you ride at the top for an hour and a half, and then the last hour is descending. So you're just totally cross-eyed.
And if I remember correctly, that might be a different part of the course, but 70.3 Worlds, every about a mile, you hit a speed bump. so you need to navigate the speed bumps. Do you guys remember that?
It's not a good surface overall, and it's an open course too. So you also have to keep your eyes open because
the scarier part is
no, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's an open course because they can't close it down because people have to get out.
Yeah, the pictures from the women's race were wild. Like, didn't Kat Matthews end up like around 4 cars at some point? She was like in a group of cars.
They all ran into traffic.
You live in the Alps, like stay there for half a day.
It's also Sunday in Europe when everybody should be just having croissants and staying inside.
The government should subsidize like cheese and wine for every family gets like $400.
Yeah. Go have a bunch of wine Saturday night and then be hungover Sunday and just like eating breakfast, waiting for the roads to clear.
It's literally their Super Bowl. Like
that's actually a scary idea. Where you get some very hungover French guys and they're like little Fiats driving through the mountains. Just like, why are there guys
when
on
I went in
bikes
2019? Dude, it is insane driving in Nice. We stayed in Ez, like down the road to get to the race. It was like F1 driving. Like nobody gives a shit about their cars, and if you're gonna run into them, they just trust that it's not gonna get hit.
There's like trucks through there too, which is terrifying.
We rented one of those buggies to go to Monaco, me and my family, like the open top buggies to ride on the coastline. That was dope. I would recommend anyone do that.
The coastline road is actually okay. It's like when you're doing the switchbacks into the towns and we got whatever. It's not even like a big car, but it's like the station wagon-y type, like they only had like Audis and Mercedes that you could do, and we went through at least 2 rental cars while we were there, between hitting like rocks that had come off the mountain or just trying to avoid side swiping a French person driving or something.
You're keeping up with that Americans can't drive in Europe stereotype. I love it. Yeah. Dude, you know my post about how to ruin your race in Nice? I swear to God, I did like all of those things when I went for Worlds, and I ran like a 1:45. But we went on a rosé tour like the Wednesday before the race, and we got on e-bikes, and we cycle up the mountain. I shit you not, the lady who was giving the tour, her boyfriend was there, and she was like kind of feeling herself. She goes to descend down, hits my mom, who was like in her early 60s at the time. My mom rolls her ankle, and it swells like this big, and then can't walk the race like while she's there.
Dude. Also getting stuck on the side of the mountain. In 2019, I was practicing the descent. So I was going up, coming down. My dad was shuttling me with my mom and Courtney in the car. Well, he hits that rock, which is why we destroyed one of the rental cars, and we got stuck on the side of the road. And rental cars over there don't give you a spare tire. They give you like the fluid, whatever, the stands basically equivalent to a car, but we had ripped a hole in the sidewall, so we're stuck on the side of a mountain, and we slowly roll it down to town while we wait at a bakery for like 5 hours because it's Sunday and no tow driver wants to come up to get the car. Jesus. So we could go down. It was insane.
All right, that's classic Europe, man. Classic Europe.
Love it. All right. We should probably rank somebody.
We got at some point throw out some names, but it's tough. Okay, so we named who's. Oh wait, Bali, did you give who's not? Oh yeah, Lionel. Yeah, you said Lionel.
Lionel and Filet Mignon. All right, so for the tier 1 here, I'm going to throw a name out here. I think he was borderline tier 2. Whatever this tier 2 whole thing is, who's borderline the first show. Finn Grossenfries.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. I have one because I'm just scrolling through the notes you sent, and I think you got it. This Norwegian guy, the John Severas Bravold, dude, winning Alpe d'Huez triathlon. You can at least ride a bike. I don't know where his swim is. I don't know where his run is, but he's going to hammer the climbs.
Basically, all I wanted to look at was the top 10 of Alpe d'Huez and how their bikes ranked. And I'm like, if you rode well at that race and hung near Bravold, this guy, you might have a good race here, because that's, I mean, you're right, Ben. That means you can descend and climb, which means you might put 10 minutes into somebody that you would only put like a minute or two in Kona.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too, then how Alpe d'Huez was quite a long way ago, time ago, because I know there's some guys from Ironman Copenhagen, but how close is too close to Nice before it starts affecting your race? Because it's a world chance. If you're not fully rested or you're still feeling it even 1% or 2, that'll mess with your day.
Yeah, guys.
Evan, your pen.
guys that have been racing a lot too. I think I agree with you, Ben. I'm very cautious on guys who have like had a huge racing season going into this, because you're right, they might be cooked going into this, especially some Euros.
Stop your pen.
Oh, I stopped clicking. Don't worry.
All right.
Nah, there. Yeah, like it's still there.
It was fucking in my ear.
It's driving you nuts over there.
All right, so we got the other Norwegian, Brevold, and then Finn Grosse. Who else is going to be this tier 1? Let me go back to the notes here, because
this is a tough one.
The big question for me is, does Jason West make this top tier? Because it's hard to leave him out. I mean, the guy goes to Placid and is what? Oh God, I'd have to look back at the results.
If he can ride his bike similar to how he rode in Placid, he probably deserves to be top tier, because he'll run 230 no matter what. Like, he's one of the guys that doesn't matter how hard he rides.
Yeah. It's an ignorance is Placid, so he needs to be that top. I mean, he will be at some point tasting that top 15, I think, if he's on his day.
It's an ignorance is bliss situation, in my opinion. And I think, Jason, I mean, you race with him, Ben. The guy's got a lot of pride, and I'm sure he wants to show up at his first World Championships and make an impact. So I think he's going to attack this bike, and like what you said, he's going to get off the bike and just fucking do what he does.
Yeah, the run, he's scary on the run. Guys, like I was racing against him. You could see a clip in Miami one year where he's running behind me and he slaps himself in the face before making the pass to like psych himself up to keep going. Dude, this guy, I think I don't know, like he'll swim front pack probably or close to it. And then the bike is just how much time is he going to lose to the very top guys, and how close can he stay to that top 20-ish in there, and then he'll hunt guys down on the run.
I think he will be, at the end of the day, I bet he will even beat Lange on how many guys he passes. So coming out of T2, I think Jason West will pass more people than anybody else in this race. But Ben, you're right. It just comes down to what's the gap then to the top. Like if that top 8 to 20 stayed together on the bike, how far back is he to that group is going to be huge.
Yeah, and he's pretty light dude. Like he can climb well.
Yeah, it's just going to be how does he descend? Because you're right, he might lose a lot of time on that descent.
Okay, the next guy that we were kind of circling here is Jordi Moya. He's two times at Lanzarote, second this year.
Tough bike course, very tough bike course.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a tier 1 here or if he's a tier 2
here.
He's
a tier 1, man, because he's run low 240s too, and he was third at Alpe d'Huez 2024. The problem for him is he's a weak swimmer. So he's going to come out and he's going to start on
a 240 on this course. If you run a 240, you're probably still in the mix after the ride. Mm-hmm. Like I bet you there'll be 5 to 7 guys maybe who run sub 240, but a lot of guys are going to cook themselves on that bike. Yeah, I think you could do it, and I'd give him props just because it's Moya, but it's a lot. It reminds me of Javier Gomez Noya. Yeah, there you go. You got to go with this Spanish.
That's what, yeah.
And Ben, you would know better. So Spanish, I mean, I looked up, he lives and trains in Spain. So like, is that, I mean, he's probably used to pretty technical descents, right? If he's riding anywhere around like where the Vuelta goes.
I'd say most Europeans are just used to like riding descents like this. I don't know if there's a European usually who you go, oh, they're a terrible descender, because they just always ride mountain roads. And honest, like if he was French, I would give him even a few extra points, because I trained in France in Saint Raphael, like the Fréjus area with the tri team there, and those guys just like didn't care about their life, like descending those roads.
None of them have kids, and they all just take the apex turns with a car coming the other way and don't care.
Just like there probably won't be a car around this corner.
Yeah, I've never, like the few Europeans I've ride with, I am always shocked by how they'll take the apex the turn with no concern that there's a car coming. Like they just do not care.
No. There's, to differentiate tier 1 here and tier 2, there are 2 names that I'm looking at that are similar, but I don't know if they're tier 1. 3 names. You got Christian Gru, Zach Cooper, and Dario Giavine.
And don't forget Sven Thalmann.
I mean, you're going to put those guys in tier 1 over a Lieferman or a Taccone or some of those.
Yeah.
Like Taccone is one of those guys. I think he's fairly strong. Yeah, I'd say he's sneaky.
He is.
Is that a tier 1 or is
I don't
he
know.
tier 2?
I don't know where he qualified at. I got to check your guys' handy dandy list here.
He was 12th in Frankfurt last year, and I mean that means he can go to Europe and race well.
He races a lot.
He does. Yeah, I mean he's raced plenty. He is for sure somebody who's. I mean he's got.
If it gets hot on the run, he'll still run fast.
Yeah.
And he's always been a pretty strong cyclist overall. Like if there's any of those South American races, he's usually pushing the bike a little bit and then closing it on the runs. Yeah, and I also we're getting heavy here because then it's also like Bart on this course. Or no, like I think that's one of those guys too. Like experience could help. Maybe he's not a tier 1 necessarily, but I feel like that's one of the guys too that you could almost have put in the tier 1 overall. Like he's just been around and raced strong.
People forget he podiumed Kona like 3 years ago.
Bart is the thing with
he just won Cozumel last year.
Is recent results are the only caution with Bart. Just this. I mean, he was 19th in Alpe d'Huez this year, and rode significantly slower than everybody else. So that's his most recent. And really, I mean, Challenge Roth, he was 19th too, and swam a 57 there.
That's pretty slow. Is there anybody else in this tier 1 that we could squeeze in here?
Honestly, I'd say Paul Schuster is probably one of them.
Yeah.
What? But didn't Schuster kind of shit the bed this year?
No.
Nah, he was good.
Texas, but then he's been
soft
since then. Yeah.
How about where was he in Frankfurt?
10.
Because
Frankfurt 10th is a good day.
That is good. He passed me moving on the run there. Like I think
he's a great runner.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll round it off with Schuster at the top, and then we can start filling in tier 2 here.
Yes, I agree. Because this is the thing is these guys, some of these guys are so close where it's like obviously they all have a result or two. I'm more looking at what form are they bringing in right now? Like how do they look right now? Because all these guys have at least 1 or 2 results you can look at and be like, okay, they on their day can be a threat. Bart for me is tough just because of this year's results so far. He's literally only raced Alpe d'Huez and Challenge Roth, and both were not good days.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's also it doesn't really matter. Like it also, I guess it matters, because you have to make an argument, but it's one of those things. I'd be curious to know past years when it's world champ
for this though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he might have literally his whole season could have just been not racing.
Because that Alpe d'Huez is one of those timings where he could have been training through it as well. You use that as a big training day.
Big day. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was top 10 in Placid last year too. He was 5th in South Africa last year. So I mean, his 2024 campaign was pretty good.
Yeah.
Guy's been racing since 2010. He has a 2010 Ironman 73 World Championship in 2010.
Yeah. Where was it? Was it down in Florida?
Where
That's
was
pretty
it?
close.
I don't even know. They don't even put the location here on the results.
That's funny. All right, so tier 2. Do you want to throw Bart out of respect for his pedigree?
You got to respect. I think he'll probably race he'll race smart. I don't think he'll blow up or anything. I think he'll just be good and steady. I think the next guy you got to throw in there, I think when I was looking at the results, Dylan Mangian, that guy, if you're winning Ironman Lanzarote, you're probably pretty strong.
Yep.
You're probably in
also
shape.
Second in the world long course champs. He's tough to lead. The only reason he's tough to move up, 27th in Kona last year. So that's his world's experience. But he's French, and it seems like he rides a bike well. So this course seems to favor him. It's tough to leave.
But if
him
it's
out of that
also,
top tier.
I don't know where he's going to swim. I'd assume pretty well if he's French, but could be wrong on that.
He swam 48 in Kona last year. So
I just think holding Kona to any kind of standard as a pedigree of your fitness is so tough because everybody's racing for broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who would be on the edge because when was long course worlds and stuff like that, because if you're racing quite a bit or something, maybe, but I don't know.
All right, so how do we feel about Zach Cooper?
Yeah.
I think he's trending up, but I think his swim, I seen the memes, him saying that he's going to ride with Long and those guys and Bart and try and make up time to come back. I don't know if his swim, this is going to be such a swim heavy race when you got Jamie Rill, Jonas Schomburg, Sam Laidlow. just all of those guys. Like that's only 3 guys, but then you got Martin Van Riel.
That front group
there's going to be like a 10 or 15 group of guys coming out, and then Jonas Schomburg is going to push 450 watts coming out of T1. So like to be able to close a gap, like I actually think if we're looking at these top 1 and 2, you either have to race insane on the bike and run, or like you have to be a good swimmer. If you're not,
well, that's kind of what Zach's been doing, right? Zach's got.
But is it insane enough to bridge up to even like I don't know, some of those top guys up there who are maybe going to get to chase that front of the pack? Because if you can make it to the top of the climb without cooking yourself with the top 10 or 15, you're going to roll way faster up there for an hour and a half rather than if you're solo trying to catch up.
And he's basically rolling in off of 3 big Ironmans this year. He went Ironman Austria in June, Challenge Roth in July, and then Ironman Copenhagen in August. Copenhagen,
and I'd just say if you're
most recent was, you're right,
and that's
he swam a
that's
54.
Too close.
He swam a 54 in Copenhagen, and I do agree. Like he's a good bike runner for sure. That's wetsuit.
No,
I think between water 10 minutes back.
And I just think like. I mean, when I was planning out trying to look at Nice, like Frankfurt, like I wasn't even going to do Placid because Placid was going to be hard to fully recover from and put in a good training block to then be able to hit Nice really well. I think if you're racing Placid on, you start to get into are you a few percent off? Like, how do you recover? Like, if this is like, how many Ironmans have you done?
Yeah, I think it's fair to put him second tier though here. Reason being is in Copenhagen, he's 6 minutes off of Finn Grosse, and not to get too much into the weeds there, but we could say he's not quite on Finn Grosse's level, who should be our top tier, the second tier, and they both just raced not too long ago. So, I mean, if you're looking at those two, you're like, okay, we can imagine that's one tier, and then Zach Cooper's right below Finn.
So we're talking, that's a completely different, like, to make the argument, we're talking about the world champs here. We're talking about like... You know, if Finn Grosse is swimming with those guys and biking, even if he blows up on the run, like that's just where I think this race in particular is so swim heavy. I think it starts to get like, how do you draw? Because then what about like Chris Lieferman or something who's proven pretty much track workout, who's steady all day, who might make that first pack or just behind it and kind of have that head start? Because I know that this course is super bike heavy, but I just feel like everybody's going to send that first climb. So
what you're saying is if we're comparing apples to apples here, to reference our old power ranking tier, like a Chris Lieferman versus Zach Cooper, it's going to be Lieferman all day just because
experience.
On paper, they're essentially
he's trending up. Yeah. He doesn't have as much racing. Like he's just kind of, now I guess you could make the argument with Chris, like he just raced Austria like a week or 2 ago, and that, you know, in my opinion is, you know, he likes to do that maybe, but for me, I'd be like, I've seen guys race a weekend, 2 weekends, 3 weekends before the world champs, and that takes a little something out of you. And so it's like the bike course too is, I just think it's one of those tricky ones. Like it could, if you take a risk, you could, you know, do way better than you would ever have imagined to do. But if you're just that few percent off and you hit a wall and you bonk, that climb is going to feel super long.
Yes, it is. Yes, it definitely is. Okay, where do we haven't touched the Italian yet, right? Giovine? Dario?
No, we haven't. Give us a scouting report on this guy.
I love this guy. So, okay, fourth in Cozumel. So he's, I mean, ridden a tough, that's a tough course. Have you?
No, it's not.
No, are you kidding me? It's tough on your back because you're an aero, but that is the opposite of a Nice course.
It's the opposite. But also, no, there's a decent amount of climbing on that Lanza course. There definitely is, and a ton of wind. So the guy can ride a bike. He definitely can. I mean, he goes. Okay, so you said Cozumel. Cozumel, my bad. Lanzarote in 2023, he was 16th. So Lanza, where he's had a bad race there. But Cozumel, he's a front pack swimmer. He's capable of swimming front pack. He ran 2:46 in Cos, and his bike is okay. His bike is not like his super strong point, I get, but he's strong enough swimmer where I think he'll be much further up the field than a guy like Zach Cooper to start. If he can hang for a bit, he can run decently well. So I think he's somebody who's going to be up the road coming out of T2. Is just, can he hold on in the marathon?
We're going tier 3 with him. Not convincing enough. I was waiting to see.
No, I don't think he's a tier 2. I mean, if it's one thing, like just having race
for him.
Like there was just Cozumel, like even if you ride super well there, that's such a different ride than Nice. Like Nice is going to have high normalized power, lower average power with that. And I mean, these guys are going to push 350 plus on the climb going up, and then for an hour and a half you're going to sit at like 300 to 320.
As I look at more, he's getting dropped on that first climb. So sorry, Giovanni. Sorry, Dario.
Okay. Who else we got for this tier 2? I think we're kind of comfortable there. Maybe where is he?
Throw some of these names, Bali. Yeah.
I was gonna say Dominic Siwaja, but he hasn't really put up this year at all.
Did you just sneakily put Jack Moody? I saw you moving around Jack Moody. Did you just sneakily put him up there? Is he just hiding?
Yeah, something's going on with my
Jack
thing, so I gotta pull him over.
I mean, Jack is sneaky strong. He really is.
Yeah.
He was 16th in Roth. He was 3rd in New Zealand, which was way early in the year. So New Zealand's a good little metric of like, okay, how can this guy race fulls? He was 20th at 73 Worlds last year.
You probably got to respect him. You guys put Joe Skipper in that first tier. Mm-hmm. And if Jack is just close to Joe, whether it's the second tier, just something like that, because
I think we absolutely should not underestimate Jack Moody. I think on his day he can slip in.
Okay, the other one, Scarabino, 3rd at Brazil, number 1 ranked in Brazil, Ironman Barcelona 6th in his first full. So he's been 6th, Barcelona first Ironman, 3rd in Brazil. He's ranked top. Where do we see him here?
He's a tough one to read. These South Americans are always tough to read because I mean, the thing is, you can assume he's going to race well on a hot day. I've been trying to check the weather, but man, the Nice weather is kind of like all over the place.
I think it's going to be warm. From what I hear, it's pretty warm on the promenade there when you're running back and forth because it's pretty exposed and everything. So I think guys are planning on it being warm, but it's obviously no Kona.
Yeah, it's not South America cold or warm either. So
I think we got to bring this guy up and put him next to Jack just based on his last performances and. He's also trending upward. So this is going to be a rest versus rust thing. Is he rested enough because he hasn't raced since Ironman Brazil?
And his bike looks solid. I mean, pretty strong. So here's a result that I actually think matters with him. That, man, I'd almost want to move him up a tier. He biked 2:08:20 in Oceanside. I mean, that's, Ben, you've done Oceanside a million times. 208's moving in Oceanside. That's a strong bike in Oceanside.
Depends. It is strong. What year? This year he did?
This year.
Yeah, we were all like 207-ish. Was he with the group?
23:48. So he can swim. His run 1:20:50. I think his run takes him out of. I mean, he goes 2:46 on the run in Brazil, but that course is so fast. That Brazil Ironman.
Well, and so Oceanside is. It's just different because it's a 70.3 it's just hard to sometimes scale and say like, oh, but 208 is solid there, especially if he was solo and did that against all of us riding like 207 or something where, that was a lot of people like pushing the group. So could be strong.
Him as an outsider. I like him as an outsider, but it's tough. It's tough to put him above some of those first tier names, definitely. Yeah.
So there are a few people here that I think that we can
it's going to end up just being 4 tiers.
Yeah, because we got to start moving people. Yeah.
Well, I think Wilhelm Hirsch, who's been basically prioritizing T100 this entire season, I think he can get thrown down.
Lower. I think he's 3rd or lower just because for that exact reason.
I think he's last tier. Yeah, I'm talking about like maybe we can.
Well, here's the thing with Hirsch. Did you see the?
What is he finished in T100 and stuff? Is he outside the top 10?
He's dancing around that top 10 usually.
Yeah.
But here's what matters way more to me, Ben, is this season alone, 3 Ironman DNFs.
Yeah, no, he goes bottom tier.
Yeah, it's tough when it starts to become a theme.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Felipe Azevedo too. I think he's DNF'd every Ironman this year as well.
But he's got such a good long-term resume, man. I remember Acevedo from even like Augusta a couple years ago. I mean, he's on his day, very good 73 guy, but I haven't seen a single unless I'm missing something in his. I haven't
24th at Roth. He was 24th at Roth. You have on there.
That's way back in Roth. That's way.
Yeah,
back.
That's tough, man. I don't know how.
It's tough if you don't have any momentum. Like there's something like you can't race too often, but if all of your races start to, speaking from experience, if all of your races start to not like go sideways and stuff, you don't have that same momentum going into world champs, or it takes a really good training block to flip that. And maybe he's had it, but I think that's like that bottom tier will just be like wild cards. Like they're either gonna crush it or they're just not probably gonna feature, I guess.
Either gonna crush or get crushed. Yeah,
that's what makes power rankings amazing. It's subjective. You don't fully rely on the data, because if we did, he probably wouldn't be on the bottom tier.
Yeah. And that's also where I think we need to look at just you're right, Ben. So some of these guys, if they've completely lost momentum at this point, I just don't think you can put them above guys.
Yeah, I think but before you just fill out the bottom, I think Salvesberg needs to be in that third tier. Yes. I mean, I put him a little higher. He's just a little bit like Frankfurt was actually really pretty solid for him, I would say. Yeah, that's really good, and qualified there in like probably the most competitive Ironman field you've seen. And his swim is good enough, but he just didn't. Was he with us the entire time on the bike? Did he come off with the front, and then he just kind of slowly?
In which race, in Texas or in
Frankfurt? Because Texas just did something.
That's a great question. Yeah. His Frankfurt bike is actually pretty important. Was he able to hang? Because then he DNF'd.
But I still think he's right there. Like if he hung on the Frankfurt bike with the front group with us, or if he bridged up with that second pack, I'd even move him up a tier. I just think he's a really good swimmer. He'll be out in the front pack.
On the run, I'd be surprised to see a decent run from him.
He trains with Patrick too.
That's a huge bonus.
A lot of times. Yeah,
he's the other guy that I want to put up here is Sven Tallman. Based on his course history here at Nice. And then here in the notes, you're saying he was in the chase pack and lost 4 minutes to the bike to Martin Van Riel.
Yep, but he was in that pack in Nice. Yeah.
And he was running 2:42 at Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this guy deserves it.
That's fair.
Thalman is in my opinion, and he's Swiss, so we could assume he can ride mountains, obviously. So the guy can bike. He's a pretty good runner. I mean, he's on his day. He could be that name that just like all of a sudden is 12th, and you're just like, who the heck is this guy? Like he's the one that they'd be randomly talking about, I think.
Is Salvesberg Swiss? Because I'm about to change this to nobody beats the Swiss.
He raced Swiss for a long time. I don't know if he switched or not, but I'm pretty sure I was on the Swiss. Yeah.
He gets to still be Swiss.
All right.
We got another Italian,
Cicciarelli, this guy, man. Oldest looking young guy I've ever seen.
He's got that good Italian genes.
He's got bays in olive oil.
He's got solid result, like South Africa and Placid.
Ninth and Placid.
Yeah, I like him.
Seventh in South Africa, depending. Like that was a competitive race too.
Yep. Anybody that
I think that he should go third tier
honorary
and just
Swiss.
Make it slash Italians.
Well, I mean, we've beaten the Italians before, but honorary Swiss for the day.
Yeah, this guy's definitely he's got Swiss energy.
Yeah,
he's very neutral.
That's a train ride from Italy. That's close enough.
Another guy I want to throw in the bottom tier, Ben Zorganati. Kind of a weak resume when it comes to Ironman racing.
Yeah. I cannot find a lot on this guy.
And he's coming from an island in the Pacific. So
where is he from? Yeah.
He's from French Polynesian, I want to say.
But he dabbles in French GP. So, he could, as Ben said, who knows? Maybe this guy can handle a bike and he comes out and shoots.
Yeah, I got to say, there are French guys who race like exclusively like in the French Grand Prix who like will just kick ass. Yeah, it's like such cutthroat racing.
I like
everything MLT wanted to be.
Yeah. They just
shout out.
Way more sustainable.
I almost am afraid of this comment though, where it looks like he's circling Nice this year because he's not racing much. But I don't know.
Fourth in New Zealand. I mean,
he's an outsider.
He can do an Ironman. Like his times. Yeah, his times aren't. He's going to swim front pack if that's a 48 swim. The bike and the run are maybe not like top, but like as far as this, like
me for him a little bit. Yeah, the run doesn't.
But a 246. I mean, that's
true.
not like
that's true.
In like he's sub 250.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Mayo's being a little harsh on him. He still might have a great day.
I mean, great name. So it'd be awesome to see him float up into the top 20.
All right, the next I want to point him out, Andre Lopez, Boulder Boy.
Where do we put the Boulder Boy here? I want to back Lopez, but Ben, do you have any inside for us? I mean, how well do you know Andre?
No, I haven't really seen him this year, despite being close to the bubble. I think he is one of those guys, like he won or was second at that Ironman Des Moines that 1 year. So if he hits his day,
yeah, he was.
If he hits his day, he is a rock solid guy. But I just feel
Andre's
like sometimes he's
too.
not.
That's actually the thing with Andre. He's just good across the board and a great swimmer.
I got somebody in the background giving me inside intel. He's training with Rudy, and Rudy, I heard, has been pretty fit. Like some of his work, like Rudy's been pretty happy with his fitness. So I think it's one of these, like, I always feel like he trains with Rudy a lot. It's just, what is your, I think third tier is still fair for Andre. I think third tier is still fair because this is the thing. Are you fit or are you fucked? Yeah. That's where it comes into play, where you can train with the best in the business, but how are you going to perform on race day? And when he performs on race day, he's that top tier, but just, I would say he's more of a question mark where he always has the potential, but it's just what are we going to see?
Yeah, I think we'd all love to see him go out there and prove the result. But as the question, Ben, is sometimes we hear this like, oh, he's training with somebody. And we always think that's a good thing. But also think about that mentally for a second. That means his ass was getting handed to him on a daily basis, probably by Rudy. That doesn't do well for your psyche going into a race.
I don't know. I think Andre's... Sorry.
I was going to say, there's guys that train super well. Like
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's true.
That he could be on par with Rudy there.
Yeah.
He's a Debo athlete, right? So he's like on the Matt Hansen protocol, like in terms of training.
I don't know if he's still. I don't think he's still with Julie. Yeah, he was for a while though.
Okay. All right. What do we got here? We got Christian Grew. It's just tough. It's tough.
Well, he's a Norwegian. Do you give an honorary?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Honorary bump up.
That's what I mean.
Because it's Norwegian.
Third in Austria, but he DNF'd last time in Nice. So I don't know what went on with that DNF, but that's not he's not looking strong on this course. But you can assume that Austrian course had obviously a lot of climbing. I know for a fact it did. So
that was recent though too, because that was not a Nice qualifier. That's a tough one because I think it's a good result. Freddie he beat Freddie Funk there.
Yeah.
But how much did that take out of you?
I don't like seeing him all the way forward.
My gut tells me if you're racing an Ironman out like in the next qualifying period and then going and doing a world championship, you got to be knocked down a tier from what we would put you at if that result came a month or two earlier.
Okay, so
I think
like 3 or 4.
I agree.
4. I'd say 4.
All right,
because that's a really good result. But I mean, it's just an Ironman sometimes takes a month to fully come back.
This is kind of a smoke if you got them. Yeah. Like take a break if you got them.
Okay.
All right.
More names.
Fernando, Nathan, and Dominique.
Dominique is the tough one for me, man, because why is a lot of people are really high on this guy?
22nd at Geelong. It's not 8th.
I know.
8th. I was gonna say.
I feel like it's disrespectful of this guy to always bring up that result. Also, me and this guy are the exact same age, so he's experienced. He had that 12th in Frankfurt this year is such a good. I mean, he does not race 73s well. He races fulls a little better.
You can put him in. I always say you put him in 4th because he just raced Zell as well. That Zell MC, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of the racing. I feel like if you're racing close, it's not disrespectful to the world champs, but it can't be. I find it hard that it's your full focus.
Yeah.
If you're going and that's like prime. That was 3 weeks out from Nice.
Are you here for the sponsors is the question. Are you here for the sponsors?
Or are you just hedging your bets and like, okay, I got to get in another race like while I'm out here to make it worth it or whatever. So hate to hate on, other guys, the way that they do their schedule. But when I look at it, if like the world champs is your main focus, you get all your racing done at least a month away so that there's no question mark of am I fatigued or not from racing? Am I messing with my training or not?
Yeah.
This is how crazy this is. Fernando Toldi won Malaysia to get here, and he's in our second tier and might be ranked in the bottom tier of the second tier.
Okay, yeah, Malaysia is like a savage race because it's Malaysia, and it's probably what's the wet bulb temp there? Is it like it's probably if it was an IT race, it wouldn't happen. So it would be beyond black. Yeah, it's just the race wouldn't exist. But I think that also changes. That changes because this isn't a hot race, and it's also, not a like. I just think that it's a different type of performance you put on when it's extreme heat like that. Sometimes it's just about monitoring your effort.
And that race was like over a year ago.
And he DNF'd his other Ironman this year.
Yeah,
so
Brazil, which isn't good. And that's his other two races. I mean, he's on 2 podiums, but it's Ecuador and Rio de Janeiro. So we have no good recent data on him is the issue. Last year he grabbed 3 wins, but they're at Ironman Malaysia, Rio Endurance, and Ecuador.
The other wild card here is the Nathan Gerbet and what he did at Ironman Leeds.
Yeah.
Like he came in second, and
he's not bottom tier. Like if you're second at Leeds behind Layla and ahead of Harry Palmer, is Harry Palmer?
That's a tired Harry Palmer.
You're what?
What's that?
Is Harry Palmer in this race?
He's in tier 1.
He's in tier 1, and this guy beats him, and he gets shoved down to the 4th tier in tier 2.
Who's making these lists?
What the hell happened? This guy's gonna be looking at it like, what the hell, guys? I basically not toe to toe, but I soloed the race essentially and finishes 4 minutes ahead of Palmer. What tier did Palmer get in tier 1? Where's the list? Bring up the Instagram post.
It's in here. It should be in here.
This guy, you got to put him.
Where's Harry Palmer?
Here in the second tier.
Harry Palmer is. We put him at the bottom tier because
so
Mark Allen said he was going to boom or bust.
We got to put Nathan at the top of tier 2. We cannot put him lower than that because Leeds also was a wildly technical climbing course, so clearly he can ride.
It was super hard. Like it had some steep hills, and it was just
like the hardest course.
And it wasn't.
Dude, that's really
like
the
hardest course in Ironman.
And I don't think it was like an easy. Like I don't think there was a lot of packs there. I think it was very broken up. It seems like
I think it
just
was
solo Ironman effort
and Harry solo the entire time.
Dude, that's really funny.
Basically a spectated training day.
That sounds insanely hard too.
That is funny. This guy just sneaks in last minute to the top tier.
We apologize, man. And he's French.
Leave him up to the end.
Isn't that following our French rule that he's probably going to ride this bike course well just because he's French?
Well, I was going to say too, like that's showing our GB bias and the fact that we really don't like the French triathletes.
And give him the 2 minutes sleep in your own bed bonus. I mean, he's close enough. I'm sure he lives in somewhere else in France, but he gets to drive.
Well, there's a couple guys like Schuster just got in like yesterday or today or something. They're rolling in, sleeping in their beds all week. Meanwhile, everybody else is.
It's a big bonus.
That is true. All right, here we go. Hungry Dog runs faster. Rest versus Russ. Nobody beats the Swiss. Smoke if you got them. And the wild cards. I'm sorry, wild cards. We probably could have done 4 tiers.
Sorry, guys.
Watch, they'll come out and they're just. This is what I love about World Championships is everybody's tied for first and nobody really gives a shit like what you did before. Like I think Christian even was saying that he's like, it doesn't matter that I've won all these. If you don't win the World Championships, nobody cares. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter that you're Frankfurt champion and win the Pro Series. Like that's great. You win 200K, but like it's Pro Series. You're not on the list of Ironman World Champions. So exactly. There will definitely be a handful of these guys who are just like,
some of these young guys do not care. They don't respect the distance. They could care less. They're going to go out there and make waves. Like there's
and if you want to win or be a podium or top 10, you gotta risk it for the biscuit. Like you gotta just not care that you might.
Jason West, man, I think the ignorance is bliss.
That first climb is going to be incredible. They need to be on it.
Too bad it happens at like 2 a.m. for us.
I know.
Yeah, well, going back to 2 years ago, like. Remember Jan tried to like make an attack and just got freaking dusted?
Shelled. Yeah, absolutely
going up there.
Well, and now it's everybody knows like all the watts per kilo. Like Hogan Hogg has lost however much weight like this year in prep for it. Laidlow's bike is 2 kilograms lighter.
Christian has lost an entire like 10 kilo probably going into this race.
Yeah. Although, did you guys hear the rumor that he only did 1 by 30 minutes, whereas Gustav did the 3 by 30 minute, their final brick run?
he's done.
So Christian
done.
only did one.
Done.
He's either pulling the plug and he's either keeping the powder dry, but you might have Gustav did his last 30 minutes at like 5:20 pace or something like that. It was a build run.
Just run 320Ks like it's nothing.
There's going to be fireworks. Somebody's going over the barrier somewhere. Hopefully it's not over a cliff, and there's going to be huge explosions.
Last question, because I want to know what's going to be the fastest run split? Who's going under 2:30?
See, in the past, I would have said nobody's going to break 2:30 just because of how hard the bike is, but it doesn't really seem to matter much anymore. So I think we'll see. Yeah, my heart says a 2:28 is on the table for somebody. They're going to pull like the Connor Weaver and just, he's like ripping off a 108. Yeah. Evan's favorite triathlete until he switched to Ari for the podium. Just, I want to see all of the Connor Weaver clips and then just switching to Ari and all of that. Just lined up, like, mark my words, just quietly shifting.
I have to do it slowly over time too. I just got to keep on ranking them barely lower so that I can switch everybody up.
All right, last question, Ben. As somebody who's raced every level of the sport at the biggest stages, what would you say a world championship is a world championship no matter where it is, or is Kona still the superior world championship?
I mean, I think you win a world championship, you got to show up on the day, win it. It's still something. I think just in general, what I think the populace thinks is, I think there's a semi asterisk next to it just because there's not the historic lore behind it that Kona has, and it's magic. Just different. Yeah, the magic behind it. But I mean, this is going to be the women's race overall. Like in Kona, people are super psyched about because of how competitive. But when you look at all of these names and all the different possibilities, like this is going to be an insane race. Like it's not. Yes. Like just tied up to two guys running for it. So
you
I think
this race and you are a world champion for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and look at the way that Laidlow took off. Like, Kona started it, but like winning Nice was like he's world champion. He's pretty much champion. Nobody's gonna say, oh, it's soft. Like nobody even says that really about Christian when he won in St. George. Like, okay, it shifted because of COVID, but like the dude would have won. Whoever wins on this day, I still think like that's the day. Maybe shift it to Kona and something changes a little bit, but like they would still be racing for the win.
I think that St. George win is a harder course than this course. In terms of the field, though, I mean, there's a lot of arguments that field is
harder
soft.
Course than this.
This is a harder field.
Like I've ridden that course. I still think Nice overall is harder because of all the different aspects, because of like you're riding threshold, then you're like recovering, like you've got a couple hard climbs in there, and the descent, like you have to be so mentally aware because like doing that St. George loop, like dude, you could pretty much ride that descent. You could close your eyes for 30 seconds and still be going in the right direction as long as you point straight. So I think that what's cool about the Nice course is just how like engaging it probably is throughout the entire thing between the swim, bike, and the run is probably the least engaging as part of like turns, but you get the fans there.
That's such a factor I never even thought of. You have to be present that whole descent, and it's on the back half of the bike. It's on the back,
like I did that descent in like seven, like
exhausting 112 miles. God, that is exhausting.
Yeah, and that is that descent too. Like if you're just, it's like I always think of that F1 quote, like of Fernando Alonso, where he like did this overtake on, I don't know if it was Schumacher or one other guys, but that's, how did you know that you were going to break later than him? He's like, he's got a family. I always knew I was going to break like later than him. And I'm like, that is just the mentality. You look back at some of the guys, how they rode the descent, like basically coming up like a tour ride, like basically to the edge of the barrier. I'm like, yeah, you just, if you don't have any fear, like you could totally put some time between yourself and others.
All right, I got one last question. Olympics or Kona?
I think they're different. You want both. Honestly,
you can only win one.
You can only win one.
You can only
win one. Honestly, I think the Olympic gold is a more elite club overall because it's once every 4 years. Have like like what I love about the Ironman World Champs is it's a 1-day World Champs, and I think that's super cool. Like I get the IT, like consistency is king, and you gotta show up and do it. But like there's something about just getting the performance right on one day and winning it, and then you take that to the next level with the Olympics, and that's once every 4 years. I mean, take away what might be more popular. Kona might get you more out of the sport depending on where you're from. But I think just, doing that and being able, like, how many men's and women's Olympic champions are there? You can count them on one hand, basically, especially since Alistair won 2 of them.
Yep.
That's true,
You're
dude.
in a very selective club. Gold medal of anything is you are in the most selective club in your sport.
But then once you throw the earning potential or the money behind it, you're just like, ooh, like, I mean, as of late, we're seeing the winners obviously have more earning potential with Gwen and Yi and stuff and Blumenfeld.
Yeah. You just have to market it correctly. It's if you sit back and just expect it, like I think Kona, you could almost like you win that, or an Ironman World Champs, you can kind of sit back and do nothing and people will throw money at you for the most part. But with the Olympics, you have to create that kind of aura around yourself.
No, that's true. All right, well, that's it. Tier 2 of the Ironman World Championships 2025 in Nice, France.
We're almost there, boys.
Yeah, exciting
stuff.